Welcome to the Blue Room Podcast, an intimate space where we explore ourselves, our lives, and our relationships more deeply through therapeutic conversation. I'm your host, Vantana Shatamsa, and I'm so grateful to be on this journey with you. And today we are welcoming back for the third time, our friend and girl
Yes.
and mentor, Tia Upshaw. Welcome back to the show, girl.
Good morning. Good morning. And has it been 3 times?
This is the third time.
Okay. Third time is a charm.
That's because we love you over here. You always bring the energy and the wisdom, and you're just so inspiring. Like everyone always gives us kudos whenever you're on the show. So thanks.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, podcast community. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you. And for folks who maybe don't know who you are, maybe they didn't watch the other episodes, can you give a brief intro about your many hats and who you are?
Wow. Do we have another 30 minutes? Am I joking? My name is,
Honestly.
I know it's a fact. It's a fact. My name is Tia Upshaw, and most people know me as being the founder and CEO of Black Women in Excellence. And Black Women in Excellence is a not-for-profit organization that has a core mandates and values to provide resources, education, and support to Black women entrepreneurs across Canada.
Mhm.
My other hats are I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a mother, I'm an author with 4 books now under my belt.
Mhm.
I'm a facilitator, keynote speaker. Someone just said to me the other day, you can mark on your LinkedIn now that you are a radio personality and a TV host. So I do those things too now. So I do wear many hats. But one thing is sure about me is that I'm really passionate about seeing other Black women succeed in business.
Yeah, I've been on the first-hand receiving end of that and just like so grateful for you always supporting and sharing your platform with us. I just posted about the morning live show today that we did last week. So on
Uh,
CTV Morning Live, that
yes.
was so fun.
It was
Thank you.
good. It was good. And I actually just seen your post, but I was coming on here with you. So I was like, oh, I can't really comment because she's waiting for me to jump on here.
That's okay. I know we didn't even like debrief. I can't believe it was a week ago, but
It
honestly,
went
yeah, it went so fast, and that was my second time on Morning Live on Tuesdays with Tia, and I just registered to be on your radio show because I just
Yeah,
can't get enough. Like I just love these conversations. Like they're amazing.
absolutely.
They,
I love the CTV Morning Live. Everybody knows I love it. You can tell, but the radio one's a little bit different. Where I'm not so censored, and I'm able to talk about topics that I feel passionate about and I want to bring to the forefront. And I love that. I love not being censored.
we know it. We know it. And you have your book, and you have like you mentioned the nonprofit, and
Ah,
you started it because you've been in business for like how many years? Like
11 now.
11 years, and then you pass it off down to your daughter, the succession piece, and we're gonna get into all of that. I know that you are super busy, but I appreciate you always making time. Like genuinely, I do appreciate that. So thanks for being on the show today.
Not a problem, not a problem. Anything for Fanny. Anything.
Thanks, girl. And we're virtual, so we've been doing virtual the last couple times. I love the in-persons, but when folks are busy, I think the virtual just like it just works. We can do it in the middle of the day, and
Yes.
this is great. Um, but what I love to do, and you know this, is that I love to pull from the deck just to
Not
kind of
the
get the
back.
conversation.
Oh
Just
Lord, let's go with it. Yeah, let's pull.
I'm gonna pull for you. So, if we get a card that's already been pulled, and I don't know how it keeps happening, I'm just not like organized enough. But I'm gonna put it back, and we're gonna pull another one.
Okay.
But let me know if you want from the left side or the right side. Left side or right side?
Right.
Right side. Okay. So this question is gonna be for you. Oh, I like this. Is a great one. Okay, who is your mentor and why?
Oh, I hate that question. I hate it because I get asked that often. And to truth be told, I never had a mentor. I in the beginning, there was no one that wanted to mentor me. I was, I kept, I was a little bit ratchet. I was not the typical looking type of Black woman who went into business or leadership roles. And
Mm-hmm.
people want to basically stay away from me. Like, don't
Mm-hmm.
affiliate yourself with Tia. And I mean, I got that right up until, I'm going to say probably 2 years ago. And people really were just like, oh, she ain't doing nothing, BWIE is just a scam and this and that. And so I never had the opportunity or the privilege to have a mentor because no one wanted to work with me, which is
Wow.
really, really, really sad. Never
Yeah.
had a mentor.
Mm.
And I hate to even have to say that out loud because it would shock most people to know that, I was a young Black woman trying to, start a business, trying to leverage, trying to come up from where I was at, and no one wanted to, another Black woman wouldn't help me. But that is the reason why I started Black Women in Excellence, because I never wanted another Black woman to feel like I felt. Not
That's
just in
what I was gonna
business.
say. That's why you go
Yeah.
so hard and you push so and you like the mentorship piece, like you push that so
Oh
hard.
my God. I push it more than anything because I know what it feels like to ask for help and they kind of like, they don't say no right off the rip. They kind of shun you and just kind of avoid you. I can
Right.
read a room. So I can read the writing on the wall. You don't want to affiliate yourself with someone like me, which is cool. But I'm going to show you what I can be made of. And I have done that quite successfully.
Right.
We're in 2024 now.
Yeah.
And the same people that didn't even want to work with me or have affiliation with me, now I'm sitting at tables with them now. Now I'm sitting in
Yep.
spaces with them now.
Yeah.
So that's how it usually goes. But I will say, now in 2024, I wouldn't say I have a mentor still to this day, but I have, my tribe. I have a tribe of women, 80 or one of them, who are around me who really, give a damn to make sure that not only is Black women in excellence succeeds, but that Tia is okay also.
Yeah.
We had a conversation a few weeks last week at the news thing that I'm going into my soft girl era, my soft girl summer. I'm really being intentional about treating myself with love and kindness.
Right.
And so that's what kind of gets me through. It's not mentor, it's not a
Right.
mentor, mentors, or whatever you want to call it. It's a
Your
tribe of
tribe.
women I have around me.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you're going through stuff, like who do you go to? You kind of go to your circle and whoever is like,
It depends on what I'm going through. Some things circle won't really understand.
yeah.
But all things is my love bug. My love
I
bug, he
was
is my
gonna say,
best
I
friend.
know your fiance, like, because
Yes.
you're always telling me like the advice that he gives you and
Oh my
just like,
goodness. He's never led me in the wrong direction.
oh
And he's always been there to be a listening ear. And he doesn't, uphold me. He will let me know if I'm wrong. He won't
yeah,
do it publicly, he'll do it privately, but he will let me know if I'm wrong.
perfect.
Um, that that is a person is he is my go-to. He
Yeah, that's so nice to have. How
I
is he back?
know.
How are you?
Oh my God, he's back in Canada. He got here in April. You would think that he just came last week. He's back, and I feel like I'm at peace and I'm home. Even though I'm home, it doesn't feel like home without him.
Yeah,
So, for 4 months he's gone. But when he comes back, it's like I have the audacity and I have the strength and the balls to do everything because I know he got my back. So I
right.
love him he's here.
Yeah, and then and because he lives almost 2 hours away when he's here, so you make that
Yeah.
trip back and
Oh
forth.
God, yes. Let me tell you, I make that trip
Sure.
back and forth 3 times a week. I will go down on Mondays, Fridays, and Sundays, and I come back to Halifax at 5 a.m. on Thursday, Mondays, and Saturdays. So yes,
That is what relationships
10
take.
years. It'll be 11 years actually coming up in October. 11 years.
That is so beautiful. And I say this to you all the time, like your guys' relationship is like one of the ones that really inspire me because you guys can do that long distance and then come back and see each other. You guys have
Oh my
done
God.
this for like over a decade and like that love is still so strong. Like it looks like it's getting stronger like every year. Like despite, people trying to say things and do
Oh
things.
my
We know
God.
the stories, but you guys have really stuck through. Whenever he's here, and like I've seen him show up at events and like
Oh
occasionally,
yes.
like he's cooked for like I think like one of the events, like the
Yeah.
pitch last year. And you guys are just so sweet. So I'm really glad that, you guys are still going strong. Like I love that.
We are, and I think every year that goes by, we understand each other better,
Yeah.
and the love and the respect and the admiration we have for one another is just it just grows. And when you find that person that takes you for the good, bad, and ugly, and wants to see you grow through it, it's beautiful. Like he
Yeah.
accepts me for everything, like my flaws,
Yeah.
my good things. So when people, will say things and they may even say, "Oh, he's gonna with her because what she has now."
Mhm.
And I have to keep going back to when this man met me, I was a broken black woman. Not
Right.
just financially broken, but my soul was broken, my emotions were broken. I was broken in 2013. I
Right.
didn't even have a pot to piss in. I had a van that only had one door that worked. I was
Right.
living in one bedroom apartment with three
Yeah.
kids on
And
welfare. So
right.
this man has been with me from the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, he's loved you since
Yeah.
before days, since the old days, and like if folks didn't listen to the other two episodes where you're on, I really encourage listeners to go back and listen because you shared about the one door story, you shared about like all
Oh God.
the ups and downs, and like just yeah, you shared everything, and folks should go get your book. I got the signed copy of the excerpt, like just the one on your, I think it was your book signing
Yeah.
event at
Yeah.
like the launch. So I like read that in like 2 seconds. And that's when I messaged you and I was like, do you have an audio version of this? Cause like I want to listen to this like whole thing,
I
like
know.
just back to back. It was so good. But just like the stuff that you've like gone through and came out of, like I really want to get into it, like as far as this episode goes. But before I do, I want to pull a quick card on this side for myself.
Not the left side.
Yeah, the left side. Um, and the question is, how do you want to be remembered? How do I want to be remembered? I think I want to be remembered as someone that is positive and like I
Mm,
want I want people when they think of me to like have a good feeling. Like I want them to be like, she made me feel good about myself. Like she always, she maybe like through a word. Maybe I can't always be there in person, but she made me feel good about like myself, made me feel positive, and she like had a positive outlook on life. Like that's really how I want to be remembered as someone that is like, I think
yeah.
happy and positive, which I'm not all the time. But and
You're supposed to be. You're Fanny. You're always
I know,
positive.
girl, and because I'm
Yeah.
always coming to you when stuff is happening, but like just the amount of stuff over the last 6 years of business, but then the last year, just the back to back to back like BS that's been happening. I'm like, oh my God, like if this doesn't break me, like nothing
Nothing
will.
else. True.
Like I don't know how much worse it can get, but people are like, you're so positive all the time. And I'm like, yeah, like you have to make a choice to be positive. Like
Absolutely. Yeah.
you have to wake up and say, like, I choose to like still be kind and still think positively and still have hope and faith because like shit is burning down and falling apart like all around me and I'm like I still I can just let it swallow me up or I can just still choose to like put one foot in front of the other and still keep pushing through and it's a choice. Like I feel like happiness is a choice until it becomes second nature. Like some days you just have to like choose like I'm not going to let the emotions take me over. I do believe in righteous rage. Like I think if things get too much and I know you're a fan of this, like
Yes.
if if people cross the line or situations are unfair or you think that something's just unjust or whatever, there is a righteous rage and I'm a big fan of like calling stuff out. I
Yeah.
think that that's necessary and appropriate too. Um but that doesn't mean you're an unhappy person just because you're calling stuff
Absolutely.
out and addressing stuff, right? But yeah, I want to be remembered as happy.
But you know what? I'm laughing because I remember I don't know if it was a conversation with me and you or with somebody else about you, and it was like, oh, Fanny gets upset. Like I thought she was in that era of namaste, blah blah blah. I'm like,
Right.
She is a woman. She's a mother. She is a Black woman. You think for a minute she don't lose her mind? We're
Right.
all human, regardless of what profession, what leadership roles we're in.
Yeah.
Whatever we delegate, we are still human, and we
Yeah.
are women where
Yep.
we have a lot of weight in our shoulders. Of course, Danny gets upset.
Amen.
She don't get
Amen.
upset like Tia gets upset, but she gets upset.
No, I mean that's true. Like, and I always feel like I have to like say that because people do sometimes take advantage of that if they
They
think,
do.
right, this person's a pushover, like, she'll just namaste her way through like
Oh, she
whatever.
won't. But she
No.
won't, guys. She won't. Trust me. You know what? This is what I tell people. If you give Danny respect, then he's going to give you respect. But if you think for 1 minute that you can have the audacity to disrespect
Mhm.
another woman, and she's not going to clap back, you lost your mind. I don't care what type of profession she has.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't cross the boundary. And I don't like when people take, what you stand for, Fanny, or what you do as, a weakness to try
Yeah,
to come for you.
for
Because the
sure.
thing, you couldn't say what you said to Fanny to me. You could not say it. Um, but because Fanny is so nice and she has this aura around her and her voice is so soft, you think she's not about that life? Okay.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, we're human. We are mothers, we're Black women, we
Yeah.
are in business, we have the weight of the world on our shoulders. And, as positive as you want to be, I experience the whole wide range of emotions, like it's the whole spectrum. And like and I'm a big fan of how you always address stuff too. And I'll say that, and I say it all the time, like no one can even try. Like if
No.
there's a you can't even try to try. And I think that there's a lot of authenticity in it, and that's where change happens, is when you don't sweep stuff under the rug and when you call stuff out and address stuff. And I think being on the other end of that, like, if you're on the receiving end, you gotta be like mindful and respectful and be like, okay, like what is the actual like truth that's coming out of this? Like take the offense out of it, take whatever, like what is like the core
Yeah.
that is being communicated, like what is the boundary that's been crossed and is justifiable. And yeah, I think probably our delivery methods are different, but the message is the same regardless.
Absolutely.
Regardless. But I want to dive into like the journey of entrepreneurship again. And like you said, before BWIE, you had a business for 11 years, and it was a cleaning company. And um, tell us like a bit about like how that started. And you had a salon too for a little while. Like take us
Yeah.
through that journey.
I mean, the salon, first and foremost, I did the salon because I literally just wanted to have a hangout space for me and my girls. I didn't
Yeah.
know shit about business. I didn't know who my target market was. I never even knew how to budget. I just knew that I want to have a space for me and my staff. Not my
Mm-hmm.
staff, sorry, me and my crew of women that I hung with, where we can drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we can drink and do hair and do nails. So I opened up a business called the Makeup Bar. And I remember at that time, I was still kind of on, social assistance. It was in like 2009-ish. And I was on social assistance. I was still living the fast life and all those things. And I remember that I remember social assistance cut me off my welfare check because of it. And it was really, really messy, like that whole time of me, having the business. And, I didn't make any revenue, not even profit. It wasn't even revenue. Like literally, we went there and did each other's hair and makeup and nails. And it was called the Makeup Bar.
Yeah.
What a beautiful thing that came out of it. Well, a couple of beautiful things, but the most beautiful things that came out of it is that me and my head hairstylist, Lakita Wiggins, decided to do an event called The Wait Is Over. And The
Right.
Wait Is Over was a fashion event that we held in Halifax and Montreal that was dedicated to plus size women.
Mm.
And it wasn't just any fashion event. It literally was like we had the women in corsets, bikinis, heels, like they had a whole like runway, practice, headshots, all these things. And
Mhm.
there were a lot of women I see now that benefited from, The Wait Is Over. They'll never acknowledge that they benefited because they'll just say all kinds of bad things about Tia and blah, 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 like most people say. Um, but it was a good thing. And like it was, the first show we did, it was like 20 people at the Halifax Forum multi-purpose room. We went
Uh-huh.
to where did we go? We went to Montreal. No, it was Ottawa. We went to Ottawa because they called us out there to do the same show. And
Wow.
we came back and we had a full house at the Multicultural Center following few months. I
Oh,
mean, sold out. There was no tickets left, full house. And we had big sponsors on like Pennington's, Additional,
wow.
all the local fashion designers were on. They were on it.
Wow, I didn't know all that.
Yeah, and we even had there's a bridal store called Karma Bridal.
Yeah.
Before Erica opened up Karma Bridal, she was doing out of her house and she actually put the models in her wedding gowns.
Wow.
So that's how kind of Erica come out to the scene was through The Wait Is Over. And then she opened up a storefront a year later. And
Wow.
Lakina, the head hairstylist that I was speaking about earlier, she
Mhm.
actually ran Erica's stores for her and
Wow.
helped her grow her Karma Bridal business.
Wow.
Um, so it
That's
was
so amazing. Like that's an amazing thing
yeah.
that came out of it. But you were like you were younger. Like, do you remember how old were you when you
Oh
had
my
this?
God. I mean, I was in my 20s.
I
Like
was
I
like,
was
this
young
really
and dumb and just like
was not
I don't
ready.
it was not. I was worried about getting weaves and nails. Like it wasn't even a thing. Like I
Yeah.
just wanted to do a business because it was the end thing. I don't know. And
Yeah.
I mean, I had a license to do makeup. I went to cosmetology school, Climb Steps, it was called. They're no
Hmm.
longer around.
Hmm.
And I got my cosmetology license. And, I did a lot of things trying to figure out who I was.
Right.
Even at one point prior to that, I went to NSCC and I did my grade 12. From there, I went to Dalhousie. I got into the transition year program. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh, I'm going to be a social worker, blah, blah, blah. That never panned out. And I'm mentioning this because I was really big on helping community. I wanted to give her the
Right.
Black community, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Never panned out. Started the salon, did The Wait Is Over, then
Yeah.
bang, went through a breakup after 20 years.
Great.
Father of my kids. And that was 2012, 2013-ish. And it was, oh my God, probably the worst point of my life.
Yeah.
Me going to jail didn't amount to how that felt. Like that was
Wow.
normal. Me going to jail away from my kids for months at a time.
Hmm.
Um, this was such an embarrassment, and I literally went MIA.
Yeah.
No, 'cause I didn't even go back to my community for months. Like I literally went MIA,
Hmm.
and it was the hardest point in my life, but it was the best point in my life because at that point I realized shit got to change. Like
Yeah.
nothing you've done had added up to anything. You've done all these stupid little things, and nothing going on for you.
Hmm.
And then we fast forward.
You started the cleaning.
Started a cleaning company, dollar store supplies, going door to door, delivering newspapers at night with now Zaria is 17, graduating in a few weeks. And she was 5 years old in the back seat when I started the cleaning
I
company. Clean
know. How
delivering
did you
newspapers.
scale? How did you scale that from the dollar store supplies to literally like a seven-figure business?
I
Like,
have no idea besides the fact that I utilized the fact that I was a Black woman, and I always knew that white people preferred us to clean for them. Traditionally, that's how it was. So I went to people's doors and saying, "Hey, I do cleaning services," and
right.
they would invite me in. Now, with that, keeping that in mind, in the beginning, the first probably 6 months, girl, I was doing cleans that took me 6, 8 hours for 50,
Right.
$60.
I remember you were
Oh
saying,
my God. But that was getting my kids a pizza that night. That was
yeah,
getting a recess for the next couple of days. So to me, in my mind, I was making it. Like my kids weren't hungry. They didn't have
yeah,
to worry about recess because they can go on school trips. I could buy my two oldest a bus pass. So for
right,
me, I was making it.
right. But
And it
how
just
did
grew.
yeah, oh sorry, go ahead. I want to
It
hear what
just
you
grew.
it just
It just
grew.
literally
Yeah,
grew, building it with the Hello Cats Hydrostone. That was my target market. Traditionally, growing up in Mulberry Park, the Hydrostone was white centered. It had money, right? You never
yeah,
went there because it wasn't for us. That's where rich people go.
Right.
If that's the case, I'm going there to ask them to do cleanings. Anyway,
Right.
shortly, building it, I stayed in the hydrostone for a while. I brought another person on because it was getting too much for me. And
Mm-hmm.
then my fiance, he's my fiance now, he wasn't then, was like, you need to look at how much you're charging. Like your expenses are far exceeding. I was like, what do you know about that? Anyways, he did. So I started, figuring out how much I should charge for a 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom.
Right.
Clients weren't happy. Prices went up. It is what it is. And they were still paying under market of what most people were charging.
Right.
And it literally blew up. Within
Oh,
the
yeah.
first 2 years, it blew up.
Yeah.
Before the pandemic happened, Fanny, I had 13 cleaners working full time. And
Right.
we had, oh my God, hundreds, almost 100 residential clients or more. 37 Airbnbs were cleaning, 15 commercial
Right.
contracts. Like, listen, it was
Yeah.
lucrative. And even during that, it was so good that I decided to start, the Airbnb business
Yeah.
and lips and lashes because I had that,
That. Yeah.
yeah, I had extra income I can invest in myself.
Right.
And I did that. And then it just kind of where I'm at today. But if you guys remember, I talked about going to TYP and wanting to be a social worker. Things
Yeah.
happen for a reason. So I
Yeah.
went to the entrepreneurship landscape. I'm in the ecosystem. I built up my businesses, gave one to my oldest daughter. She's doing
Mm.
quite well with it. And now I'm right back out where I wanted to be, working back in the community
Yeah.
with Black women in excellence.
Yeah.
So nothing is done by accident. Everything
Yeah.
is done with a purpose. You still know at the time.
Yeah. And you really like niched your market. Like I remember us having a conversation one time. You're like, I'm not really my market's not really people who do a cleaning maybe once a year or like once every 6 months.
Oh,
Uh,
girl, let me tell
it's
you.
high income earners that are like weekly, like this is what, yeah, yeah.
And I
Which
and I and I can say this to you, and most of your listeners are going to be business people or looking to start entrepreneurship or whatever. The problem that a lot of businesses have is that they say, "Oh, I service everybody. Anybody can buy my product. I don't have a target market." And it grinds my gears because you have to have a target demographic, a target market. You want to fix a problem.
Mhm.
And, with the cleaning company, for example, I use this example often, that anybody can book a cleaning company at the time from me. Anybody.
Mhm.
Anybody from my community that I love dearly. I grew up in Mulberry Park. It is categorized as a low income community by the government.
Mhm.
Subsidy housing.
Mhm.
I did not target subsidy housing. If anybody can think about that, you understand they don't have the economic power
Mhm.
to keep me sustainable as a business owner.
Mhm.
So why would I target it? Now, if you live there, you can book me, but I'm
Yeah.
not going to go there and target this is where I want to build around, right? I
Yeah.
want to build around a certain demographic of individuals who have certain financial standing. Like I
Mhm.
want to 50 people who never had time to clean their houses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bottom line.
That, and that's business side, and then but you still with the nonprofit went back into community, and it's funny because like that full circle, and I'm pretty sure I shared this with you too, but I wanted to be a social worker too, and I went
Yeah.
tried to get into Dal, that didn't work out, um, and I really wanted to serve community, but even like going to school and then studying to be an RMT, the registered massage therapist, and then building the business, the practice, like I'm still able to come back into community and do the work. So when your
Yeah.
heart is for community, like it's always gonna go back one way or another, whether it's with a degree
Absolutely.
or not, right? So like in your journey, like obviously there's times where you probably thought like this is too much. Like there's probably there's probably but it's probably weeks where like you're not generating revenue or people are not picking up the calls and you're just like knocking door to door and it's like and it's not work. And because if you've been in it for 11 plus years, like there's moments like that, but like how do you like thinking back to like some of those really low moments where like just the revenue is not there and like the demand, like the responsibilities are there, like
Yeah.
how did you push through or what was some of the thoughts that you had?
I really never know how to answer that question. I never know what I used to push through. But I will say that this has not been all glitz and glamour. For any of you listeners, entrepreneurship is 24/7. And there are times I missed important moments in my children's lives because I had to do a business deal or be on a call or go do a cleaning or whatever it may be. Um, it is very difficult. I remember when I first started dealing with HR, which is payroll,
Mm,
with having staff on. I didn't know if I could pay my staff. I was
mhm.
like, "Oh, shit," like, I don't think what I'm charging is enough to cover the expense of the staff, plus insurance, plus gas, plus supplies. That was hard. There were so many months and weeks that I didn't know if I was gonna be able to pay staff, but I always end up being able to do so.
Mhm.
Clients, not wanting to pay, me having to chase them and feeling like I'm running after money that's owed to me, like you're begging. I
Right.
had a cleaner one time steal my vehicle, because she got caught stealing at a grocery store in Giant Tiger, and with my logo on the car, the cleaning company, well, the police came to my house. I call her up and say, "Bring the car back. The police are here." She goes on a whole tangent, takes my vehicle. Um, I don't even know, can't remember where we're at. And I was going over to Jamaica the next day, so I couldn't even like deal with that. So I
Wow.
had so many situations, and even just recently, because people are probably saying, "Oh, that was probably you years ago. You're so much, stronger now, and you're doing all these things." I just did a post on Facebook about 2 weeks ago. If you guys don't follow me, follow Tia Upshaw, and you'll see it. And there's a picture of me laying in bed, and there's a video beside it, same day. And it was basically saying, what you guys see or you want to see is this person that doesn't have failures or it doesn't have bad days. There are so many times I want to give up. To this day, I'm like, is BWIE worth all the headache? And
Mhm.
I say that because working within your own Black community is so hard. It is so hard. They will tear you down if they can. And I get more respect from the non-Black community than I do my own Black community. So
Mhm.
there's so many days I just want to throw the towel in on BWID. And
Mhm.
then there'll be a post or something or registration from like someone like you, Fanny, on CTV or for a radio show.
Mhm.
And I'm like, how can I throw all this in when I'm providing a platform for this is bigger than me? Who
Mhm.
do I think I am to just throw in the towel and close it all down on all these Black women?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I think that's a big part of it why I haven't. The
Mhm.
other big part of it is I never want to be broke ever again in my life. Bottom line.
Facts, but business is like business revenue is not always consistent. Like there's ups, there's months where you're up and
Sure
there's months.
is, but, and I'll say this in all due respect for any listeners and also you, Fanny.
Yeah.
When business revenue is down on one end, you have to be quick to pivot to create another division on the other end.
Right.
If you're still waiting on that one thing to move along, you're spending too much time on that, pivot quickly. Figure out a
Right.
different stream of income.
Right.
If it has to be classes, if it has to be taking a week to do a book and on KDP and post it on Amazon, that's income you're making when you're not even awake. I bring in about $5,000 a month on my books.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even awake, and it's just coming in.
Yeah.
And I mean, it took me a while to do my memoir, but the other ones, it took a weekend to do journals, and I mean, Fanny, you have the capacity because you have digital journals. That
Yeah.
digital journal should be on Amazon making money while you sleep.
Right.
So the problem is, I had this conversation with someone not too long ago. It was like, "Oh, I feel so defeated, not making no money." And I said, "Well, what are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
Besides worrying about this one thing that no
Exactly.
one's calling to book you. What are you doing to put yourself out there? I don't see you at no networking events.
Yeah.
I don't see you on social media. You feel
Right.
defeated and you're allowing your defeat to take you away from what's going to bring you in. You're
Right.
not on social media. You're not doing anything
Mm.
and you expect this to come to you. You have to be a hustler at heart. Entrepreneurship it does not equal owning a business because you can
Mm-hmm.
buy a franchise and own a business.
Mm-hmm.
Entrepreneurship is about risks. It's
Mm-hmm.
about sleepless nights. It's about giving it everything you can give, even when you don't
Mm-hmm.
pay to give. You're
Mm-hmm.
exhausted, but you give it. And that's the mistake that most people make. For me, there is no option for me other than to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to work for somebody. I don't have it in me. I know what I'm capable of doing. I know how much I get when I keynote speak or when I facilitate a program or if I create curriculum. I'm getting
Yeah.
paid $70,000 to create curriculum with an Afrocentric lens for
Right.
entrepreneurs.
Right.
Why would I get paid minimum wage to work for an organization to do the same thing? Hell
Yeah.
no. So for
Yeah.
me, there's no other option. And
I
who's
think
I can't listen to people. You can't tell me what to do.
that has been proven. But I guess that's the thing, like when you're kind of stuck in the rut, like, and I'm sure you've been in those situations where it just feels like the responsibility is higher, much higher than the revenue. Like the debt or the bills or whatever is like much higher than the revenue. So like I guess that was gonna be my question. Like, have you ever really been so down bad? And then how do you pull yourself out? But I think you kind of answered that. You're like, you can't really just sit and dwell on the situation. Like you have to find a solution in it because there is a solution. And I believe that 100%. There is a solution, but it's like, where do you focus your energy? Are you going to focus it on the worry or are you going to like get up and figure it out?
And I didn't answer the question because you asked it that way.
Mm,
I have been there where you're stuck in a position, you're like, shit, the debt is coming, coming, coming. I have all these expenses, but the revenue is not meeting. It's not
right,
meeting it, not even a little bit.
right.
But for me, if I stop and I so cry, stress about it, the expenses are still gonna come. The
Mm,
revenue is now not bringing in anything now because I'm pausing.
right.
So I'm not even halfway there like I was a week ago because I'm pausing.
Yeah.
And what do? You just
Yeah.
stop. The expense becomes is no longer an expense now. If you stop, it becomes a debt, and
Right.
that debt that does not go away. So my
It's
only option is to figure out a different opportunity to
to
do
make
it.
money.
And I'm
And that's
actually
the beauty. That's the beauty of entrepreneurship is that if you're creative enough, you can find a way to make money.
absolutely. And there's so
Always.
many different avenues. And one thing you said was being stuck. And I'm in the process of I'm getting ready to do a master class, and it's called How to Unfuck Yourself in Business. Because being stuck,
Yeah,
you have to unfuck yourself. This is the problem.
literally.
You're stuck in your own head. You're stuck in
Yeah.
your own pity party, right? And I'm doing a master class on that. Everything should be advertised in the next few weeks.
Oh, I can't
So
wait because I'm gonna have to take that one. I think that is like our worst
yeah,
downfall of entrepreneurs. It's not that you don't have the skill, it's not that you don't have the talent or the capability, is that you're stuck in your head. Like,
literally.
and that's really where it
Literally.
is. That's where it is. Um, oh my gosh, I was just laughing because I saw two memes and one was like one said like your bills don't care that you're having a bad day. Like your bills don't care.
Girl, now that meme should have been me because I just said the other day to someone, do you think for a minute that your client cares you having a bad day? They don't give no fucks. This is what business owners seem to not realize. Yes, mental health is a thing, Fanny. We get this. And
Right.
we understand all these, things that are going on and people are making a big thing of the small things. Now we get how the society is. But
Yeah.
when you're in business, no one cares.
Yeah.
No one
Yeah.
cares. They don't
Yeah.
care if you need to take a mental health day. They're going to
Yeah.
still say, well, I had you booked for a service and you didn't show up. And you
Yeah.
think it's okay to say I'm taking a mental health day? Guess what?
Yeah.
You lost that client. You'll probably lose five more because she's going to go on social media and tell
Mhm.
everybody how unethical you are and how
Yep.
unreliable you are. They don't care.
And it'll become a cycle because
Yeah,
then, you missed out on that client and then you're going to be stressing because you don't have the revenue for the end of the
yeah.
month. Right? So, yeah, a lot of it is like, suck it up. Your bills don't care. And like another one was like, which level of adulting have you unlocked? And it was like, yeah, I can't cry today. I gotta go to work. Or like, I can't like, I can't be sad today. I gotta go to work. Like, and that's kind of what it is. Like I'm on both ends of the spectrum where I'm like, okay, wellness, mental health, if you need to set some boundaries, if you're having like a really, tough time, there are some boundaries that, you need to set and really make sure that you're taking care of yourself. That doesn't necessarily mean that you should jeopardize yourself or sabotage yourself so that at the end of the month you're sitting there like, okay, I took all these mental health days and I didn't see these clients and now now we're stuck at the end of the month and we can't reach our financial goals. It's about preventative
Worse
care.
mental health now.
Right, exactly. It's about like preventative care. It's about maintenance. Like, yes, take breaks where you when you need to, but a lot of it is really mindset. Like that's really what I'm kind like starting to learn is like a lot of it really is mindset. If you if you can get creative, if you can pull yourself out of bed, or if you're, focused so much on the worry, like the energy is going in the wrong direction where you could be redirecting it into finding a solution. Um, has there ever been like a situation where you felt like you lost your vision or you lost your mission and you kind of lost your direction? Or have you always kind of been like, I
No.
don't know where I'm going?
I've never had that situation. And I think it's because I'm so defiant, anyways. So everything I do is against the grain, and I do it for a cause. I don't do it because I think it's right. I do it because the community says this is what needs to be done.
Mhm.
And there's been many times I've been kind of tormented with finding to shift my mandate, to change the wording on certain things I refuse to. I think it was like last year before I talked with this on Instagram, I lost finally because I refused to say the word BIPOC in my application.
Right.
I do not work with BIPOC. I work with Black women, Caribbean, African Canadian, or women from the African diaspora. I do not work with BIPOC. And they pull funding from me. So for me,
Mhm.
I'm okay with going against the grain. I'm okay standing my ground. I'm not going to budge. So I've never lost a direction. I will say there's been times where in my own personal life, I've dealt with a lot of things.
Right.
And, most people, even during business, even in the last 4 years, what was it, 3 years ago, my son was shot 7 times sitting in his car. And many people didn't know
Right.
that. I didn't
Mhm.
shut down the business. I didn't stop everything I'm doing because my son was shot. Yes, it was a traumatic situation. Yes, I had to tend to him and be around and whatnot. But I kept going because I said, if God has his mercies and brings him through this, what am I going to do to support him? Because he
Mhm.
can't work, he can't do anything. If I shut
Right.
him down, what am I going to do to support my son? What about my youngest daughter? She's going to
Right.
university soon. So I knew that I had to keep going. Most
Mhm.
recently, my youngest daughter, I wasn't talking to her for a whole week in this house because she said something to me very disrespectful. And it actually
Mhm.
hurt my feelings. She literally
Mhm.
had to hurt my feelings, and my feelings ain't easily hurt.
Right.
And I could have shut down, went in my room, cried it out. I could have did all these things, canceled my meetings for the day and all these things, right? But when we're good, because we're good today, like we're back good. So when we become good again,
Well, that was a
I have
loss.
to play pickup. And that's a loss. And it
Mhm.
doesn't make sense. And I wish, again, that's what my master class is going to be about, on fucking yourself. That we have to get outside of our feelings and
Mhm.
look at it from a business standpoint and a revenue
Mhm.
standpoint,
Mhm.
in order to have security in your home. We can't
Yeah,
we
you can't
can't
let
have
the
it both.
emotions and
We can't.
the thoughts, like, take over when you have responsibilities like that. Like, if
We
you're
can't.
gonna do it, you gotta do it. Oh, girl, that is a word. Do you find, like, business is kind of like an outlet for you? Like,
It
do you
is.
feel yeah,
Yes. It is
'cause you can
most
put your
certainly.
passion right, like, your energy, your passion, even your emotions, like, whatever emotion you're feeling, like, if you just decide to focus on the business, like, it's just a channel, it's just like an
It
outlet.
is. If I'm going through stuff with, because my fiance, yes, he's my best friend. He's the most supportive person I have. Doesn't mean that we don't have arguments and disagreements.
Mhm.
And if we can go 2 days without speaking, and in them 2 days, I want to read 25 business plans. I want to proofread for people because that's my outlet.
It's
Um,
so true, rather than turn into, like, say, like, a bottle or something else, like, I feel so satisfied if I take the energy and put it in the business and be creative or
Absolutely.
post it. That is so true.
And
Yeah.
as women, and as Black women, when we're hit hard and we're feeling down and out and discouraged and no one's there, we will start swimming and claw our way up. And the only way to claw your way out of a situation is to provide a comfort for yourself. And the
Mhm,
comfort for myself is businesses, is
mhm,
BWIE. It's,
mhm.
screw it. I'm upset and I don't know how to get out of this. Let me create a master class on this. Let me create framework. Let me create curriculum. Let me, like, that's what I start doing. And then all of a
I
sudden
love that.
it's a whole master class now, right?
That is honestly, wow. Like, that is, like, really as far as like coping tools and as far as like how do I support my mental health, like that's actually a really smart strategy because like when you're laying in bed or you're just worrying or avoiding the situation, like it is not really finding a solution. It's causing more problems because you're ending up in this cycle. But when you're like proactive and actually doing something about it and you see the fruit of that work, like, yeah, I was really upset, but I created this workshop and then now I'm getting clients because of that workshop. Like that just boosts, that's actually a real boost to your mental health and
It,
like
yeah,
your
it helps.
confidence.
It helps.
Oh my God.
Now,
Yeah.
with that being said, again, I'm like I'm in the soft girl era now. So like I take Wednesdays off generally, and I think my Thursdays are booked off in the afternoon now. And the weekends you cannot get a hold of me. I do not book anything, no
Right.
coaching calls, nothing. So
Yeah.
like I have a good team now. So there's a lot of Tia, and people were upset in the beginning. Oh, I want to meet with Tia. No, you're not meeting with Tia. Meet with whoever, is in
Yes.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, can help you. Because now I have major boundaries because I have to protect my peace.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to protect my peace, it means you have to like kind of shut off what you need to shut off. And I
Hmm.
mean, Fanny, since I've known you, like Friday nights, you can't get me after 5. I'm with my fiance, state nights.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get me.
Yeah.
My house needs to be burning down for me to answer
Yeah.
my phone with my man. I
Yeah.
That's his time dedicated because I'm a busy woman.
Yeah.
I go from morning to night 7 days a week. Even
A
if I'm
hundred
not
percent.
working, I'm still
Yeah.
a mom, and
Yeah.
I'm a fiance, and a jack of all other trades that I'm
Yeah.
doing. If I have a boring weekend where I'm like, "Oh, I got time," girl, I just went and bought freaking wallpaper downstairs for me to do my bathroom next weekend. Right. So I'm
Nice.
like literally. So for
Trying to, yeah.
I am big on boundaries, and it's no
Yeah.
disrespect to any of the individuals. People
Yeah.
cannot DM me on social media and ask for an appointment because I will say to them, go to the website, or go to the email to the assistant, and she'll book it appropriately.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Like even like I feel like I work so hard on all
Yeah.
my jobs, like the business, the day job, all those things, nonprofit, Monday to Friday, but like weekends or like if I have the kids, because we do the co-parenting, that's my time with them, and I'm like, that's my time with them. But when
Yeah.
I'm doing business stuff, like the way I go so hard, like it's 100%, 100% all the time.
Oh yeah.
Um, but so if one piece of advice, if you feel like someone is like struggling right now in business, like what's your piece of advice to like bounce back?
Definitely I would take a moment, always take a moment to figure out the core problem. Because there's always that core. It's not all these other little pieces, always that core problem. And once you figure out that, you have to create like a pathway out. You can't just be swimming around and grabbing at anything. You have to figure a pathway out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Build your tribe around you. Family and friends are not always the best people to have as a business person because they don't understand it.
Yeah.
They think, oh, you're just tired or you're just sulking, you're being extra, get out of that rut. Oh, it's not that serious. They don't
Yeah.
get it. So
Yeah.
build a tribe that are like-minded individuals who
Yeah.
are in business, who are entrepreneurs, who
Mhm.
are in a space that you're in. Build that tribe. And I'm a big person when it comes to stop talking about it and freaking execute what you need to do.
Mhm.
Stop the constant conversation about what's going on with you. And once you figure out what's going on, execute the way out of it. Start talking about it.
Yeah.
Literally.
Take some steps.
Take this
Amen.
step.
Yeah, we're the only ones that can get ourselves out of the situation.
Absolutely.
We can't be waiting on handouts or other people. Like we have the ability to make a way and more opportunities now than ever. So if you see a problem, there is a solution for sure.
No
No,
one cares. That's why I keep telling people
no
we
one
all
cares.
have our own problems. We're
Like,
all dealing with our own mental health, emotional health, physical health.
yeah.
We all have our own stuff going on in our own lives. So
Hmm.
generally, if you're looking for a pity party, you ain't gonna get it from Tia.
Hmm. The
You really won't.
accountability
Accountability.
queen.
Girl, I'm big on that for me.
Yeah.
And one other thing I would like to say for anybody who's listening, if you want something bad enough, you will do it. But don't complain if you're not watering your business like you water your plants, because you water your plants, it grows, right? If you're not watering your business and doing everything you need to do to ensure that it's marketable, the structure is there, it's profitable, sustainable. If you're not doing everything possible,
Mm,
stop complaining. Stop complaining, because you cannot see your business grow if you do not water it.
that is a word, girl. Amen. Oh my gosh, yeah. This was so inspiring for me personally, just because of just stuff that I've been through the last year. And I really wanted to utilize this podcast episode with you
Oh,
so we can
absolutely.
let me get the tips for myself
Yeah.
and people. So I feel re-energized and I feel like confident as always after we chat, because you're always like, you have the power to change your situation always. Always.
Always.
If there's
Literally, you
something,
guys.
exactly. If you're unhappy about something, it
Change it.
comes down to you. You can change it
And
100%.
you're right.
Um, so on that note, thank you again. What's next for Tia? What's on the agenda? What are you up to?
I am not completely sure. I'm doing my MBA right now, as you know, Fanny.
Yeah.
I want to kind of get that under my belt. Eventually, I'd like to see me, drift off from CTV Tuesdays with Tia and have, my own spin-off
Mhm.
morning show or segment of my own. And I'm looking at doing that in the next year to 3 years. So there's
Nice.
things that I'm putting in play, and being in spaces to get to know who's the people to make the decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, like I said to you last week, I'm in my soft girl era, and I
Mm-hmm.
am able to do so with the team I have, MBWID, with my fiance. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, getting my headspace right and taking care of my health. I'm down 30 pounds officially today.
Yes.
That, yeah, literally 7 weeks.
Congrats. You said it on last
Yeah.
Tuesday and I'm just like, good for you. Like I literally thought about it. Like I'm proud of you. Good for you. Like really good
Just
for you.
really taking care. Once I get the body health under control, then we're gonna go deep diving into, like, healing, certain traumas and past things that came out in my memoir that kind of triggered me a little bit. So there's a lot
Mhm.
that, people will see a change in Tia, but something's never gonna change. That's gonna be my fight and advocacy I have for Black women in business. And
Mhm.
seeing us be successful, seeing us in spaces, see us dominate the business landscape in Atlantic Canada.
Right. Right. And I cannot wait for your master class. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
would love to see more of that. Like I'd love to just listen to you for hours, just dropping gems. Like if the master class was a series, like, or you get a
Alright,
spin on
here, how much
show.
time do you think I have, girl? The master class came out of, I think it was an argument with my fiance, and I spent too many hours dwelling on the argument, and I was like, "Girl, unfuck yourself. What are you doing? Because
Yeah.
you guys will be fine in a couple of days. This is only an argument. Why are you
Right.
sitting in your room when you should be in the office making
Yeah.
money?"
Yeah.
So I realized that I got into the position that I need to get on. So that's why I created that master class, and I came with you.
I
And it's
can't
gonna
wait.
be it's gonna be on Zoom, so people can. It's accessible and whatnot. But I'm excited for it because
Amazing.
I'm gonna keep it real. And sometimes people need that hard truth, because, again, sometimes family and friends aren't the best people. They'll tell you things that
Right.
make you feel good, and
Yeah.
allow you to keep making those wrong mistakes.
True. True enough. True enough. I cannot wait for that. Um, we gotta wrap this up, but thank you
Oh,
again.
that's so sad.
I'm sad too because there's so much more, but we're gonna be back for sure. I know we're gonna have
Absolutely.
you back again. And for folks, if they want to follow you, they can follow you on Instagram, Facebook. Go check your website. What's the
Uh,
handle?
literally, you guys, you don't even gotta do a handle. Type in Tia Upshaw, TIAUPSHAW on Google. Literally,
You'll find her. You'll find the
literally.
organization, her Tia Boss Babe account.
Yeah.
Uh, literally, just there's so much going on. I'm in one of your classes now on flows through the workplace education on the social media strategy.
Oh,
Mark.
you're with George?
Oh yeah, the AI one, girl.
Everything. Everything.
That is a game changing course. Like a game
Yeah.
changer. Game changer. So I cannot wait. I'm going to be on that tomorrow. But yeah, again, thank you for being here. And we can't wait to see you again soon. And for our guests,
Absolutely.
thanks again for the guests that have that are listening. Please follow us on Instagram, the Blue Room Podcast, and you can check this podcast out at Spotify, YouTube, Apple, anywhere you listen to your podcast. And we will check you guys again soon. Thanks for listening.